Have you guys ever considered trying to smoke cigarettes? Have you guys ever considered trying to smoke cigarettes?
Considered, yes. Tried it, no. My father is a very active advocate against it, mainly because of the health issues. But then again, I don't judge people who smoke. After all, it's their life. Well, for me, it doesn't just suit my lifestyle. I've considered trying it though.
Coming from a city where smoking is banned throughout public places, I've come to hate the smell of the cigarettes. I've come to hate the thought of it even. But of course, I've had my times where I've considered trying to smoke it, especially since I'm in college. I'm stressed most of the time. People have told me that it's a good stress reliever and it's cheap. You can find it anywhere. It's accessible. But I don't think I'll be trying it anytime soon. How about you?
Going here to school and going back home, I always walk
I'll cut it over.
walk on a street that full of smokers. So the smoke is always I feel it's in my face, and I don't really like smoking because it's bad for your health.
So how do you feel on the alcohol or smoking warnings they put on walls or in cities where it's really crowded? How do you guys feel about that?
I think it's better if we start with Brian on this one because I hear that you're pro on this.
Oh, I don't think it will really work because people are so stubborn nowadays. The more that you hinder them from doing this, they will do more of that. How about you?
I'm not for it. I think it's actually useless. It's a waste of money. Although I think it can help to some extent. I don't think it can help people dictate what they want. I don't think it can help people hinder them from wanting to smoke. And I don't think that will reflect on how the willingness of a person to not want to smoke anymore. I think it's just gonna give them warnings on what's gonna happen to them if they further their smoke usage. How about you?
My insight on this is that we have a municipality near us. It's called Tupi. The mayor there is very anti-smoking. He's an advocate for it since he was young. He's very close friends with my dad. The thing is, what he does, other than promoting all the warning signs behind the packaging of cigarettes, is that he uses the concept of media manipulation, except that he doesn't use the TV. More like he uses posters everywhere. He puts more or less, safe to say for me, because I've seen them, gory pictures of the side effects of smoking, like ugly teeth, penile dysfunction. He has pictures of that, and more or less it's work for his town because there's this new study that his office has published that smoking has decreased by a significant amount. I forgot how much percent. So I think to some extent you're right. It doesn't work because of how much they propagate the use of the warning signs in here. But if we try to use it the way the people of Tupi do, especially since Duterte just signed the anti-smoking ban, maybe it can happen. Because Tupi is just a small municipality. We have to consider the thoughts of and principles of other people throughout the Philippines.
Yeah, well, actually, I agree with Pao because I'm not saying that smoking or alcoholism can be eradicated because it's one of the means to enjoy life and it's, as Cleo said, a distressor. But for me, it's more on the science can be effective in a way that it spreads awareness to the youth and to other people, especially in rural places or in places where you're not supposed to use it. Like take for example a gas station. Like we know that gas, once you put flame or fire near it, will cause an explosion, which is good because it reminds people you can't smoke near gas stations because that's one of the reasons why some people die. They tend to forget that they're not allowed to smoke near gas stations. And say for example, in cities where alcohol and smoking is rampant, some countries, like take for example Singapore, they sometimes prohibit smoking, and some people tend to forget that because Singapore is one of the cleanest countries in the world. So what they do is they post signs and fines for those who smoke in a certain area and who throw their bottles or alcohol in an unclean place. And one of the good reasons why the signages or the signs of the anti-smoking and anti-alcohol works is because, take for example, people who don't smoke, like you, take for example, you don't smoke. What happens if there are a bunch of people who smoke and we don't intend on inhaling the smoke they release? And as you said, like smoking can lead to other diseases like lung cancer, other kinds of cancer. And one of the main reasons why this happen is mainly because of secondhand smoking. There's a research that states that secondhand smoking is actually worse than firsthand smoking from the real smoker. So it's more on the effectiveness of spreading awareness to everybody around the area, because a small change in the way people act in a culture can lead to a bigger change, hopefully.
But then again, even if, for example, in our community here in UST, we're very much aware of the side effects, the adverse effects of smoking. However, there's a lot of students here, like for example in the Pitan, there's a street there where smokers like to stay in. They don't mind smoking, they actually know that they're gonna die because of it. Like, I know they're chain smokers, but they don't seem to mind dying. It's like they wanna die with what they're doing. So, in your community, in the municipality you mentioned, it might have worked for them, but I think we have to take into consideration the age gap of the people living in that community and what they're doing, because college students are very much adept to smoking cigarettes. So I think it works in some parts of our country, but not all. And as a whole, I don't think that it's gonna work that much.
And cigarettes and alcohols are basically cheap, so everyone can afford it, and it's sold everywhere. So they have their freedom to buy it anytime, even though there are graphic warnings and it's bad for their health. So I think it depends on the person if they want to follow that or not.
Actually, I'm more concerned, well, not to say that I'm more concerned with the people, I'm also concerned with the environment around us. As you can see, global warming is rampant now with the increase of heat and the melting of the icebergs, and one of the contributions to that is smoking, which is why it reminds people of the adverse effects that not only smoking can do to your body, but to the environment as well, and of course animals too.
I think we're going way too broad with that, pero maybe we should take a step back and see if for me, the graphic warnings here in this area, as you mentioned, college students are very adept to it, because I feel that the graphic warnings here are too kind. Graphic as it may be, I feel like it's too kind. It's not as well advertised as it is. There's not, what I mean is not enough. More like not as much as the municipality that I just mentioned. Because I'm not really kidding when I say that big municipality, the graphic signs are everywhere in your own little stores and whatnot, down to even near churches and through overpasses. It's really that at large. So what I want to propagate is not just the use of graphic warnings, but rather advertising them as much as possible. more like borderline shoving it in other people's faces on how bad it can be. Image is everything.
So overall, graphic warnings may be effective.
To some extent.
We can conclude to that. We can conclude to that.